The volunteers at Riverside Food Bank threw me a 70th birthday party last month, complete with extra-large numbers on the cake, so I could see them clearly. They spoke slowly, repeated everything twice, and guided me to the bathroom I'd forgotten the location of. Meanwhile, I was documenting how they'd stolen $1.3 million meant for hungry families. Pretending to lose your mind is exhausting, but not as exhausting as watching good people's donations disappear into criminal pockets. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Patricia Hayes, retired Army intelligence, and for 3 years I've been playing the most important role of my life. A veteran sliding into dementia while volunteering at the Riverside Food Bank in Columbus, Ohio. What started as genuine charity work after my husband Tom died became an undercover operation when I stumbled onto a fraud ring that would make Bernie Madoff proud. I joined Riverside in 2021, 6 months after Tom's funeral. 40 years of marriage gone to pancreatic cancer, and I was drowning in an empty house full of ghosts. The volunteer coordinator, Jennifer Walsh, was delighted to have me. Military background, organized, dedicated, you're exactly what we need, Patricia, she said, assigning me to donation processing. The food bank served 50,000 people monthly across 3 counties. Families who had to choose between rent and groceries. Kids who only ate balanced meals at school. Elderly people stretching Social Security checks that couldn't stretch far enough. I threw myself into the work with military precision. For 6 months, everything seemed normal. I processed monetary donations, logged food contributions, helped coordinate distribution. The staff was dedicated, the volunteers passionate, the need overwhelming. We were doing God's work, feeding the hungry in the richest nation on earth. Then I noticed the first discrepancy. A $10,000 cash donation from the Rotary Club's annual fundraiser. I remembered processing it, getting the receipt signed by Jennifer. But when I checked the books 2 weeks later for tax documentation, it showed $5,000. Jennifer, I asked, didn't the Rotary donate $10,000? She looked at me strangely. No, Patricia, $5,000. Look, here's the deposit slip. She was right. The deposit slip showed $5,000. But I knew what I'd counted. 4 decades of intelligence work teaches you to trust your memory over documents. Documents can be altered. Memory, properly trained, doesn't lie. I started paying closer attention. Cash donations were consistently lower in the books than what I'd counted. Food donations from major retailers were recorded as less than what arrived. Valuable items donated for our annual auction disappeared from inventory. Someone was stealing, not pennies but thousands, from a food bank, from hungry families. My first instinct was to report it immediately. But to whom? Jennifer controlled the books. The board of directors included her husband, brother-in-law, and 3 close friends. The external auditor was Jennifer's college roommate. This wasn't one bad apple. This was organized crime wearing charity's mask. I needed evidence. Real evidence. The kind that would hold up in court, not just the word of a 70-year-old volunteer against an established nonprofit's entire leadership. That's when Patricia Hayes, intelligence officer, went underground as Patricia Hayes, dementia patient. It started small. Forgetting where I put donation envelopes, then finding them after photographing the contents. Mixing up donor names while secretly recording conversations. Making mistakes in spreadsheets that forced Jennifer to show me the correct figures which I documented. Patricia, are you feeling all right? Jennifer asked after I'd made the same error 3 times. You seem confused lately. Just tired, I said, adding a slight tremor to my hands. Tom's death, you know, sometimes I forget. The seed was planted. Over the next months, I cultivated it carefully, repeated questions, confusion about dates, forgetting tasks I'd just completed, classic early-stage dementia symptoms I'd researched thoroughly. The staff bought it completely. Why wouldn't they? I was a 70-year-old widow under stress. My symptoms were textbook. They started speaking more slowly to me, repeating instructions, treating me with that particular kindness reserved for those losing their faculties. Poor Patricia, I heard volunteer coordinator Linda tell Jennifer. She was so sharp when she started. It's heartbreaking to watch. Meanwhile, my confused filing system was creating a parallel set of books. Every cash donation got photographed before it disappeared. Every inventory discrepancy got documented. Every overheard conversation got recorded on the phone I forgot was in my pocket. The scope was staggering. They were skimming 60% of cash donations, redirecting food shipments to a for-profit company Jennifer's husband owned, selling donated vehicles through her brother-in-law's dealership without recording the sales. Over 3 years, they'd stolen approximately $1.3 million meant for the hungry. But the cruelest part was how they maintained their image. They'd stage photo ops at distribution events, crying over hungry children while stealing food from their mouths. Jennifer won Humanitarian of the Year from the Chamber of Commerce while depositing stolen funds into offshore accounts. My dementia progressed strategically. I had good days where I functioned normally, and bad days where I could barely remember my own name. The bad days always coincided with major donation events or board meetings where financial decisions were made. Amazing how confused I got when large cash contributions arrived. Maybe Patricia needs a simpler role, Board President Robert Walsh, Jennifer's husband, suggested during one meeting I was accidentally early for. She's becoming a liability. She's harmless, Jennifer replied. Better to keep her where we can watch her. Besides, who'd believe her if she said something? Yesterday she asked me 3 times if her dead husband was picking her up. They laughed. Actually laughed about my grief and their perception of my decline. I sat in the bathroom stall, recording every word, wanting to storm out and arrest them all. But I needed more. I needed enough evidence to ensure every stolen penny was recovered and every conspirator convicted. The birthday party last month was their idea. Patricia's 70th, we have to celebrate. A cake big enough to feed 50, with numbers you could see from space. They sang slowly, articulated every word like I was a child. Jennifer gave a speech about my dedication despite challenges, wiping away fake tears. I played my part perfectly, confused about why there was a party, emotional about the candles, asking where Tom was, then remembering he was gone and crying. Every volunteer hugged me, told me I was brave, promised to help me through this difficult time. What they didn't know was that my confused wandering during the party photographed their latest crime. A $50,000 donation from a local business, already reduced to $20,000 in the books Jennifer showed me, to help me understand where the money went. The other $30,000 was being divided among the criminals who threw me a pity party. I had enough. 3 years of evidence. Documented theft of $1.3 million. Fraud, embezzlement, money laundering, tax evasion. The entire board of directors, the volunteer coordinator, the bookkeeper, even the janitor who helped move stolen goods. 7 people who'd turned charity into crime. The FBI raid happened on a Wednesday, my bad day. I was in the office, crying about forgetting Tom's birthday, when agents stormed in. The shock on Jennifer's face when Agent Martinez addressed me by rank was worth 3 years of deception. Colonel Hayes, he said, we've secured all locations. Your evidence packages have been invaluable. Patricia, Jennifer's voice was barely a whisper. You're not. Sick, no, Jennifer. Just sick of watching you steal from the hungry. I stood straighter, dropped the confused elderly act like taking off a costume. Every confused moment, every forgotten task, every symptom you pitied, I was documenting your crimes. You lied to us, Robert Walsh shouted as agents cuffed him. You pretended to have dementia, and you pretended to feed the hungry while robbing them blind. Guess we're both actors. Difference is, my performance saved lives, yours destroyed them. The arrest footage made national news. 7 charity workers perp-walked out of a food bank. The investigation revealed the full scope: $1.3 million stolen over 5 years, affecting 50,000 food-insecure families. Money that should have bought formula for babies, groceries for seniors, meals for children, all funding lavish lifestyles. The trial was swift. My 3 years of evidence was overwhelming. Financial records, photographs, recordings, a detailed timeline of every theft. The defense tried to argue I was an unreliable witness due to my demonstrated mental confusion. The prosecutor played a recording of Jennifer laughing about my fake dementia while planning another theft. Guilty on all counts. Jennifer got 15 years federal time. Robert got 12. The others received 5 minus 10 years each. The judge ordered full restitution, though most of the money was already spent on cars, vacations, and houses. The food bank reopened under new management. Real charity workers who underwent extensive background checks. They asked me to join the board, help rebuild trust. I declined. My undercover days were over, but I still volunteer. Every Wednesday, no longer my bad day, but my best day. I process donations with complete transparency. Every penny tracked, every can counted, every family fed. The new volunteers don't know my history. To them, I'm just Patricia, the nice elderly veteran who's very particular about documentation. Sometimes families come in who remember the dark years. Single mothers who were told the food bank was temporarily low on supplies, while Jennifer bought another BMW. Elderly people who went hungry while board members vacationed in Cabo. They thank me for exposing the truth. "How did you stand it?" one grandmother asked. "Pretending to lose your mind for 3 years." "Ma'am," I said, "I've done a lot of hard things for my country. Pretended to be a lot of people I wasn't. But pretending to have dementia while watching criminals steal from the hungry, that was the hardest mission I ever accepted." "Why didn't you just report them immediately?" "Because I think their stealing doesn't convict anyone. I needed proof. Enough proof to ensure they couldn't wiggle out, couldn't claim misunderstanding, couldn't return to steal again. That took time. And the best camouflage for a lengthy intelligence operation is pity." She hugged me then, this stranger who understood the cost of justice. The volunteers who threw me that birthday party, the ones who weren't arrested, still can't process it. They stop by sometimes, staring at me like I'm a ghost. "We thought you were sick," one said recently. "We were so worried about you." "You were kind to someone you thought needed help," I told her. "That's not a bad thing. Save your anger for those who betrayed that kindness." The fake Alzheimer's story became legendary in intelligence circles. Old colleagues called, laughing about the lengths I'd gone to. "Only Pat Hayes would use dementia as a cover identity," they said. But they understood. When you've spent your life becoming whoever the mission requires, one more role is just another day at work. The hardest part wasn't the acting. It was watching good people donate their last dollars while criminals counted their theft. Seeing families grateful for half-empty boxes, while warehouses full of donated food got sold for profit. Knowing children went to bed hungry, while Jennifer's kids attended private school on stolen charity funds. But that's over now. The Riverside Food Bank feeds 70,000 people monthly, up from 50,000. Donations increased 400% after the scandal broke, people wanting to right the wrong. Every dollar goes where it should. Every can reaches hungry hands. Every donation honors its intent. I'm 71 now. My knees hurt, my hands do shake slightly, for real this time, and sometimes I genuinely forget where I put my keys. But my mind remains sharp. Sharp enough to spot the next Jennifer Walsh before she can steal from the vulnerable. Sharp enough to train volunteers in proper oversight. Sharp enough to remember that intelligence work doesn't end with retirement, it just finds new missions. They gave me a medal last month, the FBI's Exceptional Public Service Award. I've got a drawer full of military medals from official operations. But this one, earned by pretending to lose my mind to save a food bank, might be my proudest. Because any soldier can complete a mission in uniform. It takes a special kind of operative to complete one while everyone's patting your hand and speaking slowly, convinced you're sliding into darkness. The real darkness was in Jennifer Walsh's heart, stealing from the hungry while pretending compassion. I exposed that darkness by pretending to embrace my own. 3 years of manufactured confusion to bring real clarity. Not a bad final mission for an old intelligence officer. Not bad at all.